Hey guys, welcome back to Words from Reagan. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the time after a breakup and where to go after, what to do in the process of your healing. We're going to talk about today that there really is no specific right way to move on and to heal, but there definitely is a wrong way. And I'm going to talk about how, you really can try and escape the pain and the sadness, but it will ultimately wind up getting back to you. You can find short satisfactions to take away that pain. You're ultimately just going to set yourself back, and at some point, you're still going to have to face those emotions. I am drinking coffee from the Human Bean I decided to throw in this cute little mug I just got from Marshall's a little bit ago, and it reminds me of summer with the strawberries and flowers over it. So I want to start off by saying that every breakup is different. Everybody has different reasons for their breakup, whether that is because someone cheated on each other, that is because it was just toxic, it was just better off, you knew the other person wasn't serving what you wanted. There's so many reasons why the relationship might not work out. So a breakup's still a breakup. And if you have the breakup we're going to be talking about today is just like the no contact, like right after. Every breakup is still hard, losing someone. So everybody experiences different pains in different ways with that. And everyone's different with how they cope with grieving and the sadness that they're in. But today I'm going to be suggesting 7 different tips that are going to help not take the pain away, but help make it easier and help you in your healing process to get started and what to do, and just to know that you are going to get better. Obviously, if you're fresh out of the relationship, it's going to hurt. Life's going to feel pointless at times, and as bad as you want to put life on pause, it doesn't work like that. But looking from an outside, what if the breakup was the best thing possible for you or for both of you? What if it's the best thing that could have happened to you, even though it doesn't feel like it? Because who wants to experience those emotions and those feelings, right? So I'm going to, again, be suggesting 7 different mindsets that are going to help you in your healing era. A little era for you. So the very first one is dwindling back to last week, the episode I did. I talked about how relationships offer us insight and understanding ourselves from an outside perspective. We learn what we have to offer and also parts of us that we still need to work with. This is the first mindset I'm going to be talking about, kind of reflecting off of last week. And if you guys want to watch the full episode, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to debrief on this for a little bit. So once you have had enough time and you're fine looking back on the relationship, but are confused as to where you should start in your healing process, I'd say start here. Look back and reflect on how you could have been a better girlfriend or boyfriend, what qualities you brought to the table, but also the things that you could have been better at. Some of your weaknesses, some of your weaker qualities, fears, or insecurities. Once you pull something that you realize that you can work on, start focusing on that. Maybe you didn't communicate the best, so you now try and communicate things clearly to your friends or family, or tell them how you're feeling. Maybe you weren't always honest in the relationship, so now you're trying to be honest with yourself, honest with your friends, and how you're feeling. It gives you a place to start, and it gives you a place to grow. You have like a focus, so now it's a good place to start until things kind of just like fall in line. But also pull things out that you should celebrate, that remind you have. Maybe you were lovable in the relationship, maybe you were very giving, and you've memorized that. So in the midst of working through all of this, you still have those qualities that you're waiting to pull out of your back pocket. Number 2, the best thing that you can do during this time is to just be honest with yourself. It sounds easy, right? Have you ever tried to hide your feelings from yourself? Something telling you to leave that relationship, but you didn't. Something telling you to tell your friend how you really feel, but you were scared of judgment. We've all lied to ourselves at times or hid our feelings or hid what we should have done. We do it more often than we think. And at this time in your life, the more we hide our feelings, the more we lie to ourselves or judge ourselves, we push ourselves farther and farther away from dwindling closer with ourselves. And at this time, like, why would you want to step further even away from yourself when, like, you really are your rock at this point? In part of your healing journey, we need to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes you might feel like sitting by yourself for an evening. Completely okay. Sometimes you might just want to binge watch your favorite show eating a whole tub of ice cream. Sometimes you just want to look back on your past and cry because they're no longer in your life. And you're right. There's nothing wrong with those. But to make that a routine and to make that a habit. But what about what you need? Yeah, you might want to do that, but do you need to do that for the 7th time in a row this week? What is best for you? Is it better to sit in the house downing a whole tub of ice cream for the 7th night in a row, or go out with your friends and communicate with your feelings? Just be in a positive, uplifting environment. What is better for you? So yes, you might want to sit in your bed, but what is better for you? Sometimes we just need to go out, not go out to the bars. So I'm talking about just go out of your room. Go downstairs, talk to your family. Go out and talk with your friends. And sit in a positive environment that's going to distract you for a little bit. So be honest with yourself, with your feelings and what you need to work on. But also ask yourself, is this a want or a need? Should I continue to wish this year away or push through and potentially have the happiest time or happiest day that I have had in weeks? Number 3 is probably my favorite. Number 3 is feel as much as possible. I know it doesn't sound enjoyable, but feel the sadness, feel the sorrow, feel the loss. Again, it doesn't sound enjoyable. Like, who wants to sit through that? But when you're fresh out of the relationship, crying and grieving and sitting in those stretches of sadness, you feel down and stuck. But once you're finally healed, you don't feel those emotions anymore. You feel happy, you feel grateful that you went through that and that you're out of the sad and gray area. It literally is just the improvement. Like, I'll remember I used to stop crying to this song and then I'll play it and I'm like, I'm finally healed. Like, it shows how much, like, the human body and us as humans that we're able to accomplish in a matter of time because we put in the work. Think about a time that you were down, maybe you lost a job, maybe you lost a friend, or even another breakup. There was a time when you were down because you no longer had that thing or you were just dwelling on it. But now you are healed. So you look back and you're grateful you went through those emotions because you're now healed. You are glad they're no longer in your life because you learned, highered your standards, and matured. I think of it like as a battery. Sounds stupid, but like think of your phone. The times of sadness are the times that the battery is lower. The low time. And once your battery is charged, you're ready to go, you're energized, you're ready to accomplish the world, you're ready for a second chance. And the next time that you feel like you have an episode of grief or whatever, again, you're allowed to have those breakdowns. It's normal to cry. And the next time you have one of those so-called episodes, it won't be as much, whether that's tomorrow or in a week. You won't feel as much. It's gonna be less. You're getting closer and closer to healing. Let yourself feel that totality of it. Again, who really wants to feel sadness? But looking ahead, you're only up from here. If you stay on track to helping yourself and remaining true to who you are during this time, you're a step closer every day to healing. You can try as hard as you want to escape these emotions, but in order to be grateful for your healing process and grateful of the work that you put into yourself, you need to feel them. The more you will allow yourself to feel and not numb it out, the more effective healing is going to be. Number 4 is acceptance. Surrendering acceptance. I view this really hard to understand if you don't believe in a higher power. I believe wholeheartedly that God does not make mistakes, that everything happens for a reason. If you're pushing against the moment, you're pushing against God. Again, accepting these feelings and sitting in it. Accepting that this person is no longer in your life. Once you do this, everything will start to make sense. You will gain appreciation and gratefulness for the power of healing and what we as humans are capable of. Number 5, learn the lessons of God or that your soul is trying to teach you. I always kind of feel eager, random points in my life, just to kind of be like somebody trying to tell me something, to learn this lesson, and I just let it play it out. And it's specifically coming out of a breakup, there's so many lessons to learn. And personally, I feel like that this is obviously you have so much maturing and growing to do in your life normally, but coming out of a breakup, coming out of years or months of being with somebody, you're opening up a whole new life. What better way to sit back and reflect and actually learn lessons? There's so many lessons you can go back and learn on. Again, in order to do this, we need to sit back and reflect on what kind of person we were in the relationship, why it didn't serve us any longer, or why we deserve better. Listen to podcasts, journals, pray, talk with your friends or family. You will grow closer to trying to unpack it all. And gaining outside views, getting in touch with the inner you is almost like unlocking a chest full of gold. Sitting down and reflecting, being honest to yourself puts you on a whole new level of understanding who you are, especially on your journey of healing. Number 6 is something I talk about so much on this podcast, but I feel like it's so easy to get stuck up on this for so many aspects of life, whether that's success, happiness, love, maturity, just everything. And that's know your timeline is different from everyone else's. Your time of healing, your time of singleness, your time of waiting is different from everyone else's. This is something I talk so highly about in my podcast because, again, we can get so easily stuck on it. We can say, well, they have this, which means mine must be coming soon. Or so-and-so walked out of their life 2 months ago. But then they had this guy walk in their life and now they're madly in love. So that means mine must be coming, right? No. Everyone's timeline is different. I know people who are happy and healthy in relationships at my age, and I'm still trying to find my person. I know people who are chasing their dreams of success, still single. Everyone's at different timelines of their life, and I think for me, I'm about to enter my 20s, and everyone says the 20s are the biggest years of your life because so many ways. Some people are getting married, some people are still working 9 to 5, some people are traveling the world. I have the people you went to high school or college with, you look to see, okay, well, they're engaged, they have kids, they just opened up their own business, and I'm still over here just trying to find myself. So everybody has different aspects of life. You need to accept that it might take longer for you to heal. It might be shorter, it might be longer, it might even be the same as your best friends or the other person. Everyone is different, grieves in separate ways, and chooses to work on themselves at different times. Number 7 is the last one. It's very controversial, I would say. It's probably the hardest of all of it, the reason for all of it, and that is no contact. If you both have said the fact that you need distance from each other, as hard as it is, unadd them, block, whatever it takes. Because think about it. Okay, so say you guys broke up, but you're still talking. Yeah, you're not physically in a room, but you're still texting each other. You still have contact, so how can you be moving on from them? How can you be moving on or stop chasing them when you still have contact with them because you're still feeding into them and holding on to this little bit of hope? I talked about this before in my podcast again. We all have Instagram, social medias, and people's phone numbers, blah, blah, blah. of people that are no longer in our lives, but we still see their life on social media that they post. But why do we still keep that tie with them? Some people, obviously old friends, maybe people we went to high school with, some people will rekindle with, so some people are worth having. But some people, like, you're moving on over. What's the point of having them? Just to see when they get their next girl, to see what they're doing at this point of their life. How is that going to help you in any shape or form to move on and to heal from them? The last thing we need is to contact them, for them to convince us to return under their wing yet again, or to be set back. If you can cut the cord of communication with them, I promise you, you will be able to get over the breakup. Don't get me wrong, it's a big adjustment, especially fresh out of the relationship, fresh out the slammer. It is one of the most painful things that you will have to do post-breakup, and honestly, one of the most painful things you might have to do at all in your life. But if you can get past that challenge, that test, it's only up from here. And you will have moments where you feel like all you can do is just freeze and think about texting them. But I promise you, nothing good comes from contacting them. It is broken up for a reason, and you just need to remind yourself of that why. I'm talking about this in terms of fresh out of the relationship, maybe a couple weeks or months after the breakup, but now focusing on down the line. Maybe it's been months, maybe it's been years, you haven't had any contact, and you're thinking about them. Say it's been 3 years since your breakup, and you went on dates and something is just reminding you of them. Maybe then is the time to contact them. Once you are healed, once you are moved on. But if something is reminding you to keep going back to them, then that is where you need to draw the line. There's a difference between post-breakup and fully healed. And we don't want any contact post-breakup while you're still healing, because it's only going to set you back. And you might think that you're fully healed, but you might not be. So give it time before you contact them. And again, if two people are meant to be, if two people are destined for each other, then you guys will cross paths naturally. Maybe years or months after the breakup, once you're healed, you've been thinking about them, text them. You went through the healing journey, you grew. But if you text them during the healing journey, you're going to be stuck. So again, there's no right or wrong way to heal faster than everything else. But there definitely are ways that we should avoid. And that's smoking, drinking, hookups. You can find ways to sit through the pain and still be grateful. Keep yourself busy. Keep your mind occupied when you need it. Talk your feelings through. Be honest with your needs and listen to yourself. Verbalize your feelings to your friends or family. And these are, again, just some tips of guidance on where to start and what to do and mindsets and to make it a little bit easier for you and to make yourself reassuring that you got this. Make promises to yourself during this time, and no sooner than later, you will be able to look back and be grateful. And again, this time of your life, going through a breakup is one of the hardest things, but I promise you guys, I promise you it gets better. And I know in that moment, hearing those words isn't reassuring because you're like, really? Is it though, Reagan? Is it? I promise you it will. I promise you it's only up from here. You're doing awesome. Again, there's no right way to do this, but there definitely is ways to help. There's no word for word right way, but there are right ways that are going to help you. You have amazing people around you that love you. You have family and friends. I'm always here. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a comment. So just 7 tips to help make it a little bit easier for you to come face to face with it and sit in it, because it's gonna help you. As much as you don't want to, it's gonna help you. So with that, guys, it's obviously night now. So I will see you guys next Thursday with another one. Bye, guys.